So opening up more of yourself, traveling within, on the clusters, the universes that you've been to, arguments with spirit to unlock your discomfort with the spirit world, to see their flaws. You can call this world a vacation from the spirit world, as it can make itself very dense and incompetent, actually, in its ways, as it is the architect of reality, the spirit world is, but also has many flaws of perfection, of less growth. It has growth, but not the growth that you can have in an environment like this. So this is where you build spirit, you enhance it. So this is like the building blocks of the spirit world. You go further within it. It's like the inner workings of it. And this world is deep within the spirit. It's like going underground. It's kind of like that. It's going as you go more into yourself, you might see an ugly side, a beautiful side. There's all sides. As some beings, they're very connected to the demonic side, as that is a side that has a lot of healing to do. But also in the positive can get very out of control itself, where it can become complacent and lost and not see anything, not notice anything. Not to see you have to see everything, but just it has a narrow viewpoint. But then the dark can get so dark where it creates problems. So you have this different dynamics, and you're here to find balance. So being at peace with yourself is very difficult. Many of you are builders of realities in your own way, and you're here to open up the mind. This is what a lot of this is about. Is about allowing the mind to grow in a way that has not been seen. Every generation is a mind growth. Every generation on this planet, all planets, but this one in particular, as many do not grow and others do grow. But this world is quite different, because it can get people that are not growing, even those that are very popular. It can take celebrity and stunt the growth of everyone. Their mind control. So many of you are going into a new age of enlightenment, of knowing more about yourself, where you push your soul to its limits of the awakening. So you are building the path to the other unseen worlds, as many of you have done this in previous lifetimes, and you're going to continue to do so just by being yourself. You put out that energy, you're not going to put up with the old timelines. The old timelines are just like black and white energies of like photographs, old paintings. The old timelines of the mentality here is slowly breaking down. But many are not ready to do that. Some of you are radical and to move forward, radical thinking of just taking a thought and just clearing it out, clearing out all the thoughts of what people are called normal, and you add oddities where you can connect anyone to go to other planets through space. But why not through your mind? Why not allow Palladian worlds, Arcturian worlds to connect, where there are no rules, but you have an understanding of each other. You care about each other. You sense each other's energy very easily. You don't need rules on a wall. You feel each other's vibration. So you connect to who is similar to you. And there are going to be others. You don't need any rules anywhere, written anywhere. You just know each other's vibration very clearly, and that is what you're slowly learning here. It's just been such a breakdown of the human. The physical is a lost being. Not fully, but a lot of ways it is. So as you understand more of yourself, it's connecting to those that you feel like-minded to. As you know, many of you are having difficulties connecting to others because so many are shut down into this mentality. It's like they put bricks and just a hill, it's like they're underground themselves in the thought patterns here. I can't is written everywhere, and much more than that. Many of you have broken free, but Now I'm free. Where do I go now? Well, that's where you go within. Find out the difficulties to release. A lot of it is reptilian past life, but it's also positive within their vibrations. As they're like gatekeepers of reality, but you are here to connect to the truth of yourself. Because you have all these different alien energies connecting to you. Why not explore them all? Greetings to you from Spirit. Yes, it's preparing you for your awakening. Where do you want to go? There is as a presence here that is controlling the mind through looks, through beauty, through you realize your media has to have a certain look, your government has to have a certain look. Your government, just the presence of your government is a mind control vibration all on its own because of the buildings, the structure they built, even the vehicles that they use. It has certain type of symbolism and energy sent from it. So it sends a harmonic vibration to your earth. Now, yes, you can look at your power grid as the power lines around your countries, your cities, states. Yes, as like what you call a prison, basically. And usually use television also to program the mind also. But also, programming the mind, it can also unlock the mind, meaning that not all programming is programming. Some of it's deprogramming. Some of it's also, even with fiction, it's just that you have fiction that programs the soul, but also when you start looking at things differently, you can unprogram the soul. So you're going into a time of basically knowing more about yourselves, dissecting reality, dissecting everything, going through your news media, see where the symbols come from. Even individuals that work there, go through their lineage of where they're connected to. It's not exactly the easiest, but you can find their lineage through ancient Rome as mind control propagandists back in the ancient times, also through modern day religion, or well, not modern day religion, but modern day religion is used the same way also. But it does go, a lot of it does go back to ancient Rome, let's put it that way. Your pharaohs have been programmed also by reptilian beings and so on, not just them, for many reasons. Now, many beings are there to assist, but the humans decided to go through this also. They've never been through a journey like this before. So there's different aspects of seeing this. It's like when they feel the energy here, the negativity, it's like this is something new that has not been experienced. Yes, it's the decay of society. So now you're here to unlock it, decode it. Another form of it's yes, they put the world into such darkness, which it has been through a very long time. And even now is even more darkness now than before because the technology is making life even more chaotic. But that does not mean you have to continue in that form. Decoding reality, this through your vibration, it takes time. It's not something that happens instantly. But basically allowing this program of humanity to finally let go, where you're not under control. You don't care about your looks so much. Yes, you have a decent look to yourself, of course, but you don't have to be programmed by the masses. And you're going to a more simpler time of yourself. Basically, your mindset is decoding reality, as many have done through the conspiracy theorists of seeing elite energies there. But now you're going to see alien energies there also. The dragons will speak to you. The statues of the dragons, all these things will talk to you slowly as you start to unravel the clues that are everywhere around you. Now, it might make your life more difficult, it might make it easier. It's different. Everyone's different. But the sirens that are invisible but have been here. Well, sirens of the ancient Greece, if you look them up, they're still here. They're in music groups currently. Notice how usually it has to be someone attractive. Not all musicians are sirens, but quite a few are, or they're turned into one. So you have your modern music. It is more siren music. a mind control music that's ever been done before. Not like this. It has been done nothing like this. I mean, it has been done in the past, but still, this is very different. Well, because your Earth's going to more sophistication, there was allowed for an awakening. It's like now your Earth's waking up, so the pressure is on harder now. So there's a high spot of decoding reality, and there's a dark side of it. People in their minds feel like this is the end, which it is not. It's the mind's always going to be tested, as you know. As you can see, there's a lot of back and forth. The elemental energies are also here to assist, but also all other elemental energies are here to cause trouble. Just the way it is. But as long as you stay strong through all this, you will survive. Yes, we are the State Department, basically a government entity. Yes, our design was to control minds. Yes, to take the hostage of society in a official way. Alien beings are known to do this officially, like a military. It's like we're officials here. We're here to take control. Your military here, yes, has an eagle connection to it. A bird's view. Well, even with military, you need a sky, you need a sea, you need a land. So you have alien beings that are doing the same thing. You have carrion beings that are in the skies. You have reptilians that are on the ground. And you also have reptilians in the sea also, actually. Well, you have other beings, Syrian beings, and so on. So as you understand the core foundations of how your world has been developed, is to skew reality. They even use technologies within their technology, such as vehicles, to mess with the mind and shift realities. So I've been doing this on a massive scale of programming society, even not necessarily microchipping them, but kind of chipping them in the mind and astral. An astral chip, you can say. It is there for anytime anyone mentions a microchip, an alien mentions it, or any entity, it's usually not of a positive purpose. It just isn't. Why should they have to chip you? That means that they're at a low vibration. Obviously, if they're at a low vibration, they're going to say, oh, well, that's just how our technologies work. But in truth, that's more mind control. So that's a lower vibrational Andromedans, Pleiadians, Syrians, those that do such things. So they should not be chipping anybody in any form ever. And that's where some just give into that. So yes, the battle for the mind has been going on for centuries, thousands of years. You're coming to a clearing of it. Basically, the cards are going to be placed in front of you of what's going on with the planet. As you go into a healing phase of awareness of yourselves, you're going deeper into the consciousness. Yes, your Pope is connected to this. Now, yes, the beings that control society, yes, use mind control or mind placements, astral mind control. So astral mind control is very advanced, and many of you are going into a healing of that. It's on many levels. It is through wizardry also. Yes, the wizards here in your Agartha, yes, they keep your humans lost as they continue their existence, as they get what they want to a degree. It's a war on humanity to have humanity captured. The mission is to keep humanity captured. So if you see a wizard being, you visualize a wizard vibration, carrying a staff or some kind of moldavite or some type of crystal on their staff that gives you, and once the dragon, a lot of dark wizards speak through dragon statues. Even some of these statues even move. Maybe not much, but
Normally, a dragon vibration is there to spy, like a statue. Now, there are positive dragons also, but depending on its location, if you get a vibe from it, it's not exactly positive. I mean, even neutral dragons can be used against humanity. There's a positive aspect and there's a negative aspect to it. But it is showing the presence who's there. Yes, and becoming less afraid of hiding themselves. It's going to become more and more. They're just going to start sharing their energies. It's going to start not caring anymore. It's up to humanities. You're going to a time of awakening that where yes, you can actually see these beings here. You're working towards it. Many are having difficulties believing that. Well, because many are. I mean, the call is out for humanity to change, to look at things differently. But do they really? I mean, they hear conspiracy theories, they hear about human trafficking, hear about these many things, but do they want to really do anything about it? Many do, but not all. So, and it's a process, of course, too. Well, it's just in your intentions to want change. Some say it, but they want disclosure, but are you ready to see what disclosure really looks like? Some are, some aren't. Some in no hurry. Some just got married. They don't need these things in their life. Let's see. Greetings to you from Spirit. Why the reptilians or beings that cause difficulties here, why are they doing what they are doing? Many of them have lost control of themselves as a human nature, as you see that when humans are attracted to a mind control effort, they get pulled into it very easily. So this happened and happening currently. So it's a mental grid. There's many mind grids around the planet to pull people in, with entertainment, different energies. I believe you have an idea of that. Well, it's basically society in general. They pull you, religion, government, it pulls you into a certain type of mindset. Now, those that go against it usually are ones that are slaughtered, killed, and forbidden for re-entry. Many of your Atlanteans lost their energy during the ancient past. The wars on your planet was to bring in a darker energy across the earth. Was to, yes, have a lower astral presence worldwide, as it is. They take it as dark as possible, as evil as you can get, to hold on to your souls. Now, don't feel like you are held here or anything like that. Many obviously feel like they are through their contract. They can't escape the planet. We understand that. But when you look at it from a mission, yes, you're here to awaken the planet. By doing so is allowing yourself to, yes, not to be pulled into the manipulations of humanity. To allow your higher voice to come through. Basically, as the third dimension begins to break down, as you are no longer falling for anything that it says in the news, anything it's saying to hold the mind, because realize they're trying to now realize there's a certain time for certain things for awakening. You want to be free. Continue that pattern. There are areas that aren't meant to be unlocked just yet. As you know, there's an unlocking. It's like, think of like there's doors in the future. You're here to open up a new door. And it's just a process of an awakening that's happening at this time. Many of you see the end result as a more positive vibration, but you're working towards it. It just keep opening up those realms, not to give up. It has to be tested between now and then. You want to knowledge, you want a Akashic record vibrational knowledge. Why is this happening on the world once again? Is because humanity was persuaded to do this, to be fallen for manipulation on many levels. It was looked attractive. They put attractiveness, wealth to pull you in the ancient times. And those that were not pulled in, and only a few are wealthy, the rest are poor, as you know. Yeah, done by design. And you're here for the massive awakening, reconnecting to your magic, creating your own way of looking at things, your past, your present. Allow your belief system to unlock. Now, it has to fit with everyone else's. Well, as you know what's best. Of course, somebody feel they know what's best for themselves. Sometimes they want what's best for others, and it doesn't always work that way. That's why concentrating on yourself matters most. But yes, there's a reptilian presence here that wants to hold humanity forever, and it has. But many of you are the keys to unlock it. It just takes time. Yes, impatience can really derail a lot of energy. So just patience with yourself is so important at this time. Greetings, we are the Pleiadians. Blessings to you. We're also the Arcturian vibrations channeling at the same time. Time travel, basically, you're all time travelers, so you're just not fully realizing. It has to be programmed to be focused on the third dimension. As you go outside of that reality into your mind, basically allow your mind to set yourself free. The third dimension to be behind you. No, just don't let it control your mind. Or more 5D, 4D energies, and you'll eventually see as an angelic being around you, other forces. You're basically allowing the third dimension no longer to be part of your reality. Of course, it's still going to be there, but become lighter and lighter and more 4D thinking. That you can do anything. Now you're not always meant to see everything in the future, the past, but go where is a natural progression. Go where you feel like you can go. Pluto, Mars, Venus, your world, of course, but all those planets are combined into your atmosphere. You're realizing it. The Uranus beings are here for spiritual growth. Of course, everything is for spiritual growth. But Uranus is here to connect you actually to the higher fourth dimension and fifth dimension. Saturn is to help you learn about yourselves. It's part of your timeline, like a timeline teacher. Do this, do what you're supposed to do. And you can roam around the Saturn features, see creatures, see giant bug beings, whatever it might be. Part of your reality distortion or reality field that's been built around you. 5D reality, or 5D reality is, once again, many of you go there just to relax in your astral realm, just to freaking relax. Because this can get quite intense. Because 4D here on this planet can be a war zone like Afghanistan or worse. Yes, your slums of your planet. So you're also here to, not everybody's ready to leave the slums of your planet just yet. Some are having sectoid lifetimes. Now, there are certain, we're going back into the planets. Venus has a calmer vibration, a feminine vibration to its balancing of Martian and Venus vibrations combined to each other, learning from each other themselves. Venus can sometimes be overwhelmed this Earth because it wants to keep it from destroying itself. Mars is the one to push itself over the edge. Now, Venus, female energies are known to destroy planets also, but Mars they seem to find a way of doing it quicker. It all depends, but Venus and Mars basically balance each other to keep your world in sync with itself. Now, what does this have to do with time travel? It's basically a fabric of who you are. So you go to time travel. So you go into a timeline, a Martian timeline on your planet. You can see your Wild West, why that was invented. Your King Arthur, your Knights of the Round Table is actually very connected to Venus, of connecting to your Agartha. Your ancient Greece is very Syrian, actually. Um, and yes, it became more reptilian through Mars, through Orion. Well, basically to go deeper into the lower vibrations of the planet, basically to sink you in and further to understand the lower realms that have already been captured on this planet for some time. So yes, there are many wars on this planet before human intervention as you see it today. Of course, there's always been a form of human here, of course. Why wouldn't there not be? Yes, 4 million years ago or longer, yes. There's been many civilizations that have been wiped off the planets, but as you get more of a direct approach of understanding what you are, understanding the now, on 5D energy, basically healing yourselves is key. And many feel like they have all the answers. Not everybody is meant to heal. Not everybody is meant to find 5D or a comfort zone. Just now, some people are in 5D and not learn a damn thing. So that's why fourth dimension hasn't quite left this planet just yet. That's why you're not in 5D, because some just don't learn anything there. You came here to learn, here to advance yourself, strengthen yourself. So when you go through struggles through hell, yes, you're strengthening yourself immensely. You're healing also the astral plane, which is very difficult to heal, because sometimes it thinks it knows everything. That's Greetings to you. We are the Arcturians. Yes, it's never easy to find oneself. Realize, yes, you're going to get a lot of testing as you go more into the fabric of who you are, your origins, your piece of being, who you are. So, of course, there's going to be beings there to distract you and shut you down. All this is distraction from yourself. Of course, as you go to the harmony of you, but the harmony of you is not going to be an easy find, because you see so many trying to bring a drama, an unlocking, or lock you up into an idea system. Now, obviously, many of you could have opened years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but the world wasn't quite ready for it. So it has to really have to do with your planet, of your humans who are not really ready for their awakening. That's not to say that they're fully ready now, but you are tuning yourself, preparing yourself for war, but not a war that you're used to, but a transition from third dimension to fourth dimension. So basically, many of you will feel calm. Now, internally, you might feel like you're going through hell. Not to say life on the outside will feel calm, but yeah, internal mental attacks, reptilian attacks, astral attacks. A lot of this is coming astrally. An astral. There are many ancient beings that feel like they have it all figured out. Ancient kingdoms and astral, they don't want you to find yourself. They want you to go to the local religion and do as you're told. Many of you are clearing that vibration and connecting more to you and getting stronger. And obviously, there are countless beings that do not want this to occur. So basically, bringing like you're curing yourself, you can say. You are getting assistance from your angels and aliens. It's not the easiest matter. Now, as you truly unlock yourself, many of your health will improve. Not always 100%, but the health energies, health difficulties, basically, a lot of beings basically just don't want you here. That's why you're having an awakening and a health crisis. As you just continue to go forward into you, you will find unification into your higher dimensional self, higher being. It's just that beings are they want to distract you, program you, put your mind into a television, into the mind of the character to keep you out from yourself. They want you as those TV characters. Wow, I want to fantasize them this superhero or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that, but they want to keep you there. They want you to keep you in those fantasy worlds and not knowing yourself. Fantasy relationships, many are in a fantasy relationship energy of realize you clear out that all fantasy relationship energy, connect more to the relationship within yourself and with a partner also becomes more clear. So it's not the easiest at this time. There's so many webs trying to control the mind. So as you go more into a higher frequency of fourth dimension, not the easiest to get to, as you can see. Your fourth dimension is very different than other fourth dimensions. As some of you feel you're going to 5, but 4 you still have a lot to learn. is you are technically in a version of fourth and fifth at this time, yes. But fourth dimension still has a lot of lessons to get to five. When you're at 5D, you're at bliss. Not completely, but you have a better understanding. You might be fighting giants, you might be seeing extraterrestrials more clearly, but fourth dimension still has a lot of lessons to learn. So just downloading 5D energies. The 5D knowledge, yes, is very positive for soul growth for sure. It's figuring out yourself. Lessons. Greetings, we are the Pleiadians. Blessings to you. Yes, your timeline is very unique. A human timeline. Your individual timeline. They're all on various. So think about all your timelines connecting to each other. It's like a highway. So many people are being brainwashed by the media, history makers, or history books, history universities. Notice how universities are built up to have this knowledge downloaded into you to tell you what to think. Now, it doesn't mean those histories are not correct in some form or another. That does not mean this fragment. It's kind of like the cliff notes of what truly happened. So you're not getting, even as you know, the outcome isn't always 100%. I mean, the elites even admit that. And that's. I mean, of course, they admit that they changed history, but who's the one changing it? Well, you can look at the ones that published your history books or go deeper into who exactly wrote this history, and they'll actually literally tell you. And same thing to do with the museums. Also, is that your state, but who's running your state, who founded your state, your country, etc. I can give you more details of that. So as you go more into your timeline, now obviously seeing the future isn't going to be 100% clear, but knowing thyself doesn't mean you have to know everything, but being more clear of who you are, allowing more of your knowledge to download into you, to your system of basically, I'm ready to see who I am, and it'll slowly unfold. Doesn't mean it's going to happen fast. It's a gradual process. But if you're searching within, just searching, the pages of reality will come in. Now there are some that, yes, around you, even astral in general can attack you also. They don't want you to know what you're discovering, like, to yourself, because you're an archaeologist of you. It's not the easiest at this point to see it, but like you go into your fantasies, because your fantasies are actually things you've actually experienced in other realities. So it is a part of you. And you're just basically putting the building blocks of yourself together. It's like you're putting your map together of who this person is. And you're down, this will make you stronger over time. Obviously, there are situations they don't want you to know who you are. Obviously, especially when you get closer to who you are, especially closer to the timelines that you're here to help others, obviously they're going to put the pressure on you and heavier. So when you feel like, you're not getting anywhere, you actually are. It just, when you're feeling fine and everything's going great, that probably means you're making progress. But when you come to the time of basically truly opening yourself up, that's when the real hell begins, you can say. That's when the true stress shows itself, and as you unlocking yourself on many levels. It's difficult. We realize it's not something that can just come in there and help you. Of course, we assist, but it's up to you. Now you're downloading knowledge, magic, realities here to break the third dimension. As the third dimension disengages, decentralized, and is no longer fitting your reality, and true reality starts to come even more when you become stronger. Anunnaki have their own transcripts here, knowledge through text, actually. Obviously, you found it, but they don't always put their name, Anunnaki, on the text. Some of them, yes, are influenced the Bible. The Bible basically is an archive, basically. And yes, there's a lot of mythology, of course, to disfigure timelines, to disfigure the soul, so you can't find yourself, put like a maze within yourself that you don't know who the hell you are, basically. So as you start clearing out all of that, I guess you can say garbage, of the third dimension, you become more pure into yourself. Like you are a waterfall, you are peace, you are tranquility, you are the new age. Now become more stronger into your unison, your correction, your own creation. As you get stronger into the higher dimensions. Obviously, beings don't want you to find this, but it's a map into yourself. Blessings. As you go into the twilight of yourself, healing your chakras, going deeper into your inner knowing, realizing the timeline that you are on, why the people are in your life. You are focusing basically on your direction. Why am I here? Yes, it's a main focal point to figure out one's existence and destiny. As you're writing that page as you go, it all has to do with your actions. So you wonder what you're doing here. What are your current actions? What is it? How is it affecting others? Are you just kind of in a internal bliss or abyss, as you would call it, of not knowing what you're here to do? Yes, many of you are connecting to the astral. It's like you might not know what you're doing here in the physical, but you know what you're doing in the spiritual, in the astral realm. You know, like you could be a famous writer in one realm, a doctor in another, for example, an artist, whatever it might be. And those things are happening. And you're bringing teachings from this earth into those other lifetimes. So, like giving your knowledge from this earth's energy into those others as you live in, as many go through a desert period of the unknown. Yeah, there's nothing harder of nothing. The hard one of the hardest lessons here is not knowing what you're here for, not really having a direction. You might have a job, you might have a life of some kind of living somewhere, but you feel this aching gap inside of yourself of what is this all about? It's like I don't feel fulfilled. Yes, and that is the most wrenching situation. Yes. And it does not mean you will not reach it because many of you do. Some of you have reached it. It's like, is that all I'm here for? But others have not quite reached what they're truly looking for. We believe you will. But yes, it's an abyss of the soul. It's not a waste. There's no such thing as a wasted life. Well, a wasted life is one that will not take chance, will not do anything with one's life. Just will not try anything new. Just sit around and indulge usually in drugs or some kind of, and they get messages that you probably are going to leave the world, right? Because some that do, and this is true, some that are truly wasting your life can be actually taken out of this world also because they keep failing. They're not trying to do anything. Fail, of course, there's different ways of looking at failure, but not attempting to live anything. And there are souls that do this and then they leave early. Sometimes they live through an overdose. Yeah, instead of, some people can do drugs and then be very productive in life. Have children, connect to new people, whatever it might be. Go places. You're an animal of discovery and journeys. So you're here to discover those things, whatever it might be. But yes, the abyss of the soul is like you're trying to do things and nothing is working. And that is you healing other realities. But the answer here is never going to be completely easy because it is an internal, but we feel like many of you, or most of you, or all of you, will find what you're here for, but the timing of that is unclear. It's like you feel like this empty void of just what am I doing here? And yes, it is like a tragic vibration. It is one that is, but you'd be surprised. Usually it's a transition to other things, meaning the timeline that you're looking for has not quite reached you just yet. You might be ready for it, but the timeline has not developed itself just yet, especially those that you're connecting to. Yes, it all has to do with timing, and everything fits together just right for a success in one's life. And not everybody's ready to awaken. If you're to awaken others, a lot of times those people are not ready to be awakened, so you go back to sleep. So yes, you're in a triangle of nowhere. It does feel that way. It's an empty void. But to use your talents, your current talents, keep trying, keep striving, keep trying to make something of yourself, whatever it might be. Try new things, artwork, whatever it is. It all fits together. It all has a meaning to it. As long as you keep trying to go forward, you will find what you're looking for eventually. But if you just do drugs and it's alcoholism and wander around and you're just a story for everyone to talk about and not really striving with your talents, because your talents is key for you to connect with what you're looking for. This is why so many die of drug overdose because they're not really doing anything with themselves. Even if you're an artist, they might not. I mean, artists have this problem; they don't like their art, or just but keep creating it. But if they find no fulfillment at all, it's like I can't do this anymore. A lot of them exit through a overdose. So it's just a you can call. I wouldn't call that a failed life, but it's up to the individual to say this. So, but yes, it's a very deep existence. So our main message, once again, is to just keep using your talents, keep growing. Even if you feel like there's an abyss within yourself of I don't know why I'm here, it doesn't make any sense. Just keep building. Do whatever you can in your means, and you will find your direction over time. Blessings. Greetings, we are Lebanon Consciousness. Yes, we are connected to Atlantis. We are, yes, of the Christ consciousness, much of the family of Jesus is in Lebanon. And of course, it goes into other areas also. Yes, France, depending on what timeline you are on, but it is Atlantean knowledge that is a spiritual direction. So your Syria, yes, is a core of knowledge from the higher astral. You can say it went too far, brought in too much, but was just enough, but was too much technically. Well, for some beings felt it was too much, too advanced, too just so especially for your modern era where as you know, the past is being erased, so you don't know of what you're capable of, such as the Zatarians have been gaslit and hidden. Luckily, it wasn't many other places that were lost, but even Tataria is very connected to China, actually. So Tataria never really truly disappeared. It is still here, but just in a different form. As the Lebanese, they are, yes, spiritually advanced. Yes, they have go through a lot of hardships, but they themselves are from another planet. Some of it is from Syria, the Syrian constellation, but once again, the Atlantean knowledge of spiritual development. Basically, it's where your Atlanteans went to calm down, to let themselves go and more into a third dimensional state of mind. So, yes, realize a lot of even channel information is only so much can be brought in. But there are Lebanese Atlanteans, because your Iranians are similar. Your Lebanese was a little bit more accepting of the physical reality. Yes, it still had magic similar to the Babylonians. The Babylonians just got too powerful. And it had its moments. I mean, they were there to help the human creation to continue, to show its potential, to be a high power magic, probably more beyond anything that's ever been seen in your modern age, in your human age, the modern human that you have today, at least your human timeline that you're connected to. The Babylonians, yes, are just like pretty much a race of their own altogether. Even not even human, technically. But as for the Lebanese, if you go into Lebanon, it just has a healing structure, healing energy. It does has Lemurian vibrations too. Lemurian / Atlanteans have a mixture of each other. The Lemurians did not want to have any war, any type of difficulty with Atlanteans, as the Atlanteans and the Lemurians interbred. create, they just had their own species, you can say, because they connected. And some of that went to the Lebanese. A lot of it went to your advanced humans. A lot of them went to Babylon. But your Lebanese has so much Lemurian vibration there at this time. It's just a calming vibration. Now, there's different ways of looking at other places also, such as Australians, where it's more of like a purebred of a Lemurian, but you have more of a mixture in the Middle East. So Lebanon is a peace, actually. It has not always been peaceful, no. Because there are warlords, reptilian beings that have lost their state of mind. They have gone more to demonic, unfortunately. Even the reptilians have kind of lost themselves. As humans lose themselves, reptilian beings lose themselves also. Humans get lost, reptilians get lost. Obviously, yeah, you might be surprised how, well, I mean, humans feel pretty stagnant here. As there's more to this, and even the reptilians feel the same way about their culture, even if they are a little bit more aware of what's going on. They feel like there's a lot kept away from them. So they're kind of in a prison, as you are in a prison yourself. So you have prisoners watching other prisoners, basically. Obviously, reptilians aren't going to be too keen to that, as they need a great amount of healing. Of course, the human has a lot of healing also, of going truly into itself. Going into itself is basically removing the locks, the blockages, as you unite with humanity into its pure form. And that is exactly what you're here to do. Ending the war is like, for the controllers, is like the controllers giving up. This is why there's war, even as airstrikes, they have to keep the war going, because that's, once the elites no longer have a depression on this planet, they have no reason to exist. Not here, at least. So it keeps the elites in power, as you know. So when you have more countries becoming more peaceful, it's the end of the elites, basically. At least the negative side of it. So this is the direction you're going into. Greetings, we are the Syrian consciousness from your country, Syria. So yes, we are a download country of infinite knowledge of your ancients. So your ancients are being erased, as you can see right in front of you. But that does not mean it's the end. It just shows that as they attack Syria, they're trying to close down the third dimension or fourth dimension as much as they can. So this is why they put their efforts in that way. It's because there's a lot of history there. There's a lot that's been erased, but it has not fully been erased. It's seemingly that way, but as you go more to a spiritual dimension, nothing's ever gone. It's just so they can continue the third dimension, as they are the controllers, as they was power. So the elites for destroying ancient relics. Of course, in certain areas, not all. Some places are sacred, such as Egypt. But Syria is allowed to be, it was agreed upon to, as a battleground, unfortunately. Even Iran is actually sacred also in some areas. So it explains why Egypt is still there, correct? So Syria has this many alien artifacts that are still deep within it, are part of human history, of course. So you say the elites are trying to rebuild, create a new reality. We don't believe it will be successful, though. It's just for now. It's just as they continue their power. People think the same thing happens over and over again. It does to an extent, but many of you are changing the vibrations and even connecting to the elites to heal their energies, heal their efforts, and to push back their control mechanisms over the earth. So Syria, yes, doesn't always want to share. It was at one time a golden city. At least golden vibrations of higher technologies, growth, beings that can fly, beings that just were powerful and telepathic abilities. You can say Syria was advanced more than other countries at one time. Well, they all have their own advancement, but Syria truly went to its highest peak. And of course, to continue with the Earth agenda currently, it had to be quieted down. As you can see, even with its construction, the architecture there is far superior than other place, actually, even Rome. Yes, it was far advanced and could have continued it also, but many obviously did not agree with its development. So as you go into a transformation into the higher dimensions, you will see Syria as a healing point. There are also many ships there at this time, of course, in the fourth dimensions, many galactic fleets, even Ashtar commands and so on. But yes, even the Ashtar command, a lot of this seems to occur also. Well, they can't interfere too much, but as you go into more of a new vibration, Syria and other countries will be healed. Iraq is a center point, a capital of control. Of course, you would say that Jerusalem or Iran would be, or even what does you call it, Saudi Arabia, but it's actually Iraq. Only it's because of its Babylonian roots. Iraq is just a turning point. It plays such a big role in many wars. It's a mystery, isn't it? During the Iraqi war, much of it did not make any sense. They call it oil. They call it all. It had a lot to do with the ancient artifacts that are there. It's just an ancient city that has been slowly being discovered, and of course, it's seen as a weapon to society, because especially when society knows more about itself. And I understand, realize that a lot of the artifacts have been stolen and hidden. Not everything's been destroyed in Syria and anywhere, but Syria was very advanced for its time and still is. I mean, of course, the most advanced gets the most negativity, such as what Iran's going through at this point. Blessings. Greetings to you. This is Zoe. Now, my position is a commander. Yes, I can be very vicious as a feline. I'm still healing much of my reptilian self. Realize a lot of felines have been taken over by feline worlds have been taken over by reptilians. And where many of us became reptilian-like. Felines very controlling over different star systems, even using Zeta technologies, even felines with nanotech. So it's just interesting as your Earth goes into more of a nanotechnology, as well, people putting technology on themselves is reminding of themselves of their other alien lifetimes. So your world is becoming alien. It might not be exactly what you're looking for, but it is. Your connection to, oh yes, this Google, the Google Glass is another. They're remembering them. Actually, those two are Zetas, the founders. Zeta Palladium, but mostly a Zeta vibration. How do you think they can come up with something like that? Search engine. Aliens need search engines. Yes, they can use their telepathic ability, but they're always searching for something. All galactic federations have a search engine of some kind. And as you go more, so you are turning into a alien reality more than you have before. It's just the transition is not easy. It's not as fundamentally friendly as you'd like. And you're also releasing a lot of reptilian energies as you go into this healing, as the reptilian side is more part of the war side. And reptilians took a lot of feline worlds and turned everyone against each other. And after the war, it's like, wow, we were just manipulated, weren't we? So this planet might seem like it's the worst of them all, but it's contained because it's out of control. So they had to shut off the aliens connections because you had too much here. So it doesn't mean they're going to start showing themselves yet, because you have a lot of lessons. You have a lot of bad wiring to heal before any galactic communication can truly happen. That's what you're doing at this time. all these channelings, even positive channelings, or even not even the most positive, even negative channelings, it's all part of a release. You might not like the negative channelings, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's still part of a release that you're going into, a galactic release that's much necessary. So yes, there's just some groups that need, you might see there's a manipulation there in that group, but that's what they need to unlock themselves. They need to go through, some have been through rituals, some have been through, I mean, some of these people, some of these channeling groups, they have been taken over, and the beings that took them over from other planets are doing it here. So people, why certain people are so popular is because those people still have those programming and them have not fully released it. So it's helping them through their lives until they eventually realize, like, wait a minute, is this a cult I'm a part of? Is this a channeling cult? Is this a religious cult? And then they have the realization. It's very difficult. Now, not everyone's been programmed by these cults, but a lot of these cults are, they're very, you can say dangerous, yes. They can really weaken the mind, the soul, but it's, for many, it's necessary for their own healing. So reptilian beings, yes, they have a lot of weaknesses, especially when the mind is the weak. I mean, their egos get in their way. So as you understand how the reptilian thinks, they hate that. Because then you can see what they do before they do it. Especially when you're not afraid of them. It was power. So it's one of the reasons why I came to this earth, Ivan came to this earth, because he's seen it all with them. And yes, it's very difficult. It's just the reptilian grid that's around the world, where you call a Archon reptilian grid, Illuminati grid. It is as programming humanity constantly, because it is fun. It is an AI energy also. It's everything. And it is loosening its grip. How you know that? You look within the people, going through their awakening, you're getting stronger internally. That's how you know. And you internally know that the lead are losing in some form or another. At least the battle you're fighting with them, you're not as strong as it used to be. Blessings. Greetings to you. This is Zoe, the Galactic Feline. Yes, I've been taken out of this world sooner than I wanted to be. I was doing a lot of magic on the earth to bring in new entities for humanity to connect with. But yes, I can do this in the astral realms, but being the physical is nothing like being in the physical, especially when you're a feline. You're treated like royalty, depending on who you're connected to, where you can live on vacation, where you can sleep all day, connect with astral, bring in new energies. We don't really recommend humans to sleep all day because you have a lot to do in the physical, but you can sleep, of course, if you need to. But it's good to do physical things. You are a physical being, but some need to sleep for certain amounts of time. Quite understood, but sometimes the astral realm is calling. But for the most part, you are physical beings. But so my aspect of connecting, yes, I am much from Lyra, but I'm from many different places. Basically, the Lyran is learning how to enhance itself with this planet, to understand it more. So you can say I was part of their galactic union to help humanity understand, or for felines to understand humanity, as we still have. It's basically, for a cat being on the earth, is basically we understand skin temperature, and human, what's going on with human overall, through permission of the cat. So the humans getting the permission of the cat's skin, the human's energy. Usually it's the parent, or the caregiver of the feline being. Well, saying the feline's a pet. Because usually it's the other way around. Usually the human's a pet. If you really want to go there. But we're not doing that. So galactic agencies, alliances are having difficulties understanding human consciousness, even with all this. Well, because a lot of aliens are getting kicked off the planet. Well, it's difficult to understand the energies here. So when you get a cat, they can connect with their, the family members. They can give the alien beings a sharper download. Of course, we We do also do work with spirit, but we also work with black. Basically, cat beings are alien beings overall. All animals are aliens. You all scan the vibrations of the planet to a certain extent. But once again, you give permission for us to connect. So it gives it so animal's mission is to get us, of course, clear out the vibrations, but also get a decent download to the aliens to understand how the Earth operates. Of course, you can do it in different levels, but all information is good information for basically for a disclosure to occur. Some feline friends of yours are helping with that on a drastic level. A level that might not be understood on a third dimensional, but is at a level basically where you are, as you speak about it, it becomes more known. It's difficult. It just basically, even a cat gives information to the human to channel certain things, connect to certain vibrations. Always, an option. I mean, I can bring all this energy in, but it's up to the person, the conduit, to channel those energies. But sometimes a cat is being channeled, and nobody even knows. Sometimes it's called the higher self. Sometimes it's called an alien being, whatever it might be. What's contributing to the connection? Let's put it that way. It's probably more accurate. So as the humans go into a self-development healing phase that's so needed here, because the human here has been so beat up, the aura is not as powerful as it used to be. Yes, food has a lot to do with it. It just has to do with stress. The aura is dented. No matter who you are, is going through a lot of misinterpretation here. So as they go into a healing field, a healing stage, you'll see a much different world. As your auras shift, your reality shifts. Not just for you, but for your planet, and your planet reality shifts. So the aura of yourself is key, as many of you know, but I don't believe it's always recognized as that. And also for tapping into children's energy before they're incarnated is very important too, because many of you are actually connecting to them before they incarnate, give an idea what they're getting themselves into. So many wonder what they're doing astrally, actually talking to a lot of souls that are about to reincarnate here. Yes, you're preparing them and testing them. You're putting this scenarios you've been through. They see part of your life. See if this is even something they want. So some of you are spiritual, but some of you are in spiritual, kind of military, in some form of it. You're galactic, you're Illuminati around your planet. The grid, you can call it whatever words. Yeah, all these terms, you can use it as you wish. The Illuminati grid across your planet, yes, gives it false spirit guides. Not all are false, no, but many are. That's forms the third dimension. Well, it has a story, a timeline. Even the movies that are made keep the timeline going. It just has a certain vibration about it. But humanity right now is being hijacked more than before. But that also, because the elites are getting worried, they are worried. Because some of you are not budging. You're not selling yourself out. The gamble is not working. Because they feel like when souls incarnate, they'll just sell themselves out. Many of you are not selling themselves out. So they don't like that. And it's becoming more of you. So people can sell themselves out on a spiritual level. Instant success is one example of it. A success that's really bizarre, but doesn't make any sense. Blessings. Greetings. This is Zoe. The feline nexus, or the nexus, well, the feline nexus. There are many realities that are trying to connect with humanity that have not had that much success. Positive realities that get rejected by the earth because of the negativity, through not necessarily through video games and technologies, but in some ways, yes. Meaning that you see violent video games can also have a more positive video game. There are positive programs out there that are being rejected constantly. As you know, even like your news, positive news is rejected, but not always. That's changing slowly. Many are still going through their own darkness, so the news that they're gravitating towards is a reflection of themselves. So your nexus reality is basically it's similar to the Matrix, but just showing different layers of your reality. What it's like different pages of a book within yourselves that are here to discover. That what is your world keeping out? There's also many planets actually called the Nexus. It shows these worlds are very much diverse in their dimensions, and they're still keeping out. You can define it however you want. When it comes down to it, we are going down into a more 5D energy, but even 5D has a lot of darkness and blockages that are still developing. So the 5D still has. I mean, some feel the 5D is where you win, but some 5D realities is where people lose. So where they get completely lost, they get thrown into the third dimension. So it's staying positive. It's just basically staying strong to yourself. It is, yes, many beings are trying to take you out of this reality by, yes, self-sabotage. A lot of that's the Archon beings. They use lower dimensional insect, demonic beings to program society, to rewrite language within the soul, the codes within your own DNA. They rewrite just your DNA itself, so you can't receive light from the sun. And that's why some people get sick. That's why some people end up going to the hospital or losing limbs. Even that's the extreme. It's it's DNA manipulation on a whole new level. That's not really quite understood. It is nanotechnology connected. It goes deeply down to the Earth's core of these beings that are causing this. So yes, this world has been hijacked on so many different levels. Even your spirit world isn't really your spirit world. There is a positive spirit world, but yes, you can say there's more of a negative spirit world surrounding your Earth, which would explain a lot, wouldn't it? Like an Illuminati spirit world that's surrounding your Earth, that's very vicious, and you wonder why things are, because it's a grid, and there is a positive spirit world, but it's blocked by negative. So positive beings come in. It's never that easy, but never easy for anyone. They want to make it everything unpleasant for everyone to a certain extent. You can bring positive to you, but those that are going through a positive timeline are there to bring positive to those that are not going through a positive timeline. And not everybody needs to go through a positive timeline. Some of you need to go through not just for soul growth, but for your mission to help others. And it is soul growth, but it's much more to that. You're going deeper and deeper into the astral realm. But it's not very comfortable. And it's a job that nobody wants. Many of you, yes, many are diving into some dive into the lore, secret space program knowledge and get stuck there. It's difficult to heal that side of themselves. Some have been through a lot of trauma in secret space, have not fully let go of that side of themselves. Well, that's a lot of times why they're holding on to it. Also, is because the adventure side, they just where they can feel free, and to them it's entertaining, but also traumatic because they can't reconnect to that reality altogether. So the Nexus is basically realms that have not shown themselves here just yet. A more positive realities. Of course, you can define it once again any way you wish. Greetings. Your humans are still calibrating yourself, as you know, to your higher self. You're calibrating higher dimensions. My reason for being a feline here as a domestic cat was to clear the energies for alien connection, to bring in new vibrations. And yes, I was acting erratic because it's like my erratic behavior is like it's like running a theater for a big production. So you're making sure all your actors or your presenters are ready to go. So, of course, not your actors, but more like presenters. So my place here was you say I was my time coming to an end as I was prepping, I was preparing much of it, but also preparing for others to arrive. A lighter energy. Yes, you can say during my time, much of the hard work was done, but there's, of course, there's much more to go. But the harder connections have been made. And my time was basically up as a physical being. I had enough knowledge as a physical being. I can go into the astral and assist in that way. So I'm teaching other animals also what I have done and what I've been through and what comes of it, what you go through on many levels. So yes, there was another cat that was here, Silverbell. She was more for the heart, for basically clearing out family energies and just the life vibration. My direction was to bring in the aliens, and I've done it, and it was all in preparation for a very long time. Of course, I didn't always make sense when I was speaking. I mean, I can be seen as a galactic representative, and I can be seen on ships. There's much more beings I've connected to also. I've connected to a lot of government alien energies. Yes, you have government. You have your alien governments, your Ashtar commands, your galactic federations. They all split apart. They fall apart a lot actually internally. I mean, this Earth, so many humans get so frustrated with themselves to bring out so much negativity. A lot of the galactic federations have to pull away from the Earth because there's so much hostile vibrations. But you are still, it's like many of you, it is similar to like you're digging a hole underground by yourself with a shovel. It's kind of like that. You're digging out of the prison system. And it's very difficult, as you know. It feels like, I mean, yes, you might connect to others, might hear, you might have communication with others, but still it is very difficult in a place of darkness. But what you are doing is bringing enlightenment to others. Enlightenment that has not been seen on this world for some time. It's just never going to be easy when humans are so easily pulled into the dark of themselves as you continue to bring light. Many don't want light. They don't want any of it. They are very connected to the Saturn program. The Saturn program for them, you can say it is an AI energy. There's more to it than that, but a lot of it's AI. And it's there to close down the mind and program it. Well, it's like the human becomes the video game, meaning the human is being played, as you can see. So it's difficult to release a human from a program when they are being operated and programmed, played on different levels, go to this job, go to that job, go to that relationship. So many of you unplugged for that vibrations, but you can't unplug. You're still in the game, but not as strong as you were before. You can call it a scenario, whatever you like. is based. It's a slow. I mean, yes, many of you can awaken in a higher dimension of yourself, but there's still a lot of inner healing many are doing. So that's why many slow down. It's like you still have details within yourself to still repair, to fix. And these things are not easy to see internally. So you're going into a new enlightenment of yourselves.